When I looked down, and my whole body was covered in hives. And I guess my mom had told my older brother, put calamine lotion. All I remember was just being covered in this pink lotion from head to toe.
Patrick Osborne had his first allergic reaction to food around the age of 4. Initially, fish sticks, then salmon, then tuna.
That's when I just decided, hey, I'm going to stay away from any kind of fish. Mom would cook the fish in the house. I would just leave, go play outside or something like that.
Now married with a family, food allergies pose a challenge for the entire Osborne household.
I have 3 sons who have multiple life-threatening food allergies.
David, he's about 1, was he 2, something like that. And she said that he wasn't breathing right, he was drooling. So I put him in the car seat. We want to take him to the doctor.
They tested him for dairy, egg, and wheat. And I remember getting the phone call from the nurse thinking, oh, it's just one of the 3. And she said, no, it's all 3.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what do I feed him?
Kristen, the only family member without any known food allergies, has a passion for making sure her family enjoys healthy meals that are safe for them to eat.
So today we're making gluten-free meatballs with a gluten-free spaghetti pasta and a delicious salad with vegan feta crumbles and gluten-free baguettes. All the spices and all the ingredients have to be checked. I have to read the ingredient label to make sure there aren't any allergens that we're allergic to.
Kristen coaches her boys to understand that staying safe from allergens should not detract from a sense of joy and adventure at mealtime.
When I discover something new that I can eat and it's really good, I like it because it's a new addition to the other foods that we've had.
There have been some surprising ingredients in some of my favorite foods, and I'm like, really? There's like beetroot in this, but it tastes so good.
Through the years of advocating on behalf of my children, I realized there were other parents who really needed someone to kind of hold their hand through the process.
Kristen is founder of Virginia Food Allergy Advocates and has worked closely with schools, places where food allergen safety has become a prominent issue.
There are about 3,000 students in Virginia Beach City Public Schools that we have identified with life-threatening allergy. The peanuts to the other nuts to milk now, sometimes to some perfumes, to some odors. We're seeing just different life-threatening allergies.
Schools are required by law to stock life-saving epinephrine. But what happens if a child is between school and home when an allergic reaction occurs?
So I was approached by a parent almost a decade ago about helping her student safely ride the bus and needed accommodations for epinephrine. And after working with the school system, we arrived at changing the guidelines so that bus drivers would be able to recognize anaphylaxis, but also administer epinephrine to those students who were allowed to self-carry their epinephrine in their backpack.
And Virginia Beach schools made the change to prepare all school bus drivers just in case.
When we were initially hired, we go through training and we're taught how to use the EpiPen. Really helps our confidence when we're out with the actual children on the bus that if something were to happen, we would know how to handle the situation and help that child.
5-year-old Isaiah is just beginning his school career, something that adds a little worry for his mom.
It's somewhat nerve-wracking because I think sometimes people think, oh, gluten-free, that's just a trend. And for so many people, it's not a trend. It's a matter of life or death. And for our son, if I know at school they're going to have something, they'd let me know what they're going to have, and I create something for Isaiah so he doesn't feel left out.
Isaiah's mom advocates for him and others in an entrepreneurial way.
You're very welcome. We have our cinnamon roll. Is this all together? Okay. There you go. You're very welcome.
Maharg is a professional chef who experiments with recipes at home and who founded a company so that those with food allergies can experience the joy of special treats safely.
The more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Isaiah's never had a donut, and nowhere we went made donuts that were safe for him. And I was like, I'm gonna tweak around with some of these recipes and see what I can come up with. The donuts that I make are gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, nut-free, everything free. And it's a good product, and I put my heart into it, And Isaiah is probably our biggest fan. Anytime I think of new flavors or anything, he is the first one that gets to try it for me.
Isaiah receives care for his specific food allergy issues at the University of Virginia. Pediatric allergy specialist Dr. Jonathan Hemler works with patients to try to expand the list of foods they can eat safely. We asked him why food allergies are on the rise in America.
The most common theories are something like the hygiene hypothesis, where we are using our hand sanitizers and soaps and detergents and we're just very clean and our bodies aren't exposed to the microbes that they should be exposed to in order to kind of keep your GI tract functioning properly. There's some very recent research looking at detergents. They are designed to kind of break things down. And there's, at least in the lab, has been shown that those things can actually kind of break apart the linings of like your GI tract and specifically like in your esophagus and in your lower gut. And that is what may be the catalyst for allowing food to get in there that shouldn't get in there. And that's why potentially food allergies develop.
While research into the why continues in earnest at places like UVA, experts and families living with food allergy challenges say the more important issue is making it possible for people to live well despite the specter of food allergies. At UVA, that might mean research into immunotherapies to help people tolerate their known allergens. For the general public, it can mean advice on how to avoid food allergies altogether.
I think the most important thing for many people to know, especially new parents, is that the earlier you introduce allergenic foods, especially like it's been studied mostly with peanut, but also milk, egg, tree nuts, those other things. The thought is that you'll be able to go on to prevent future food allergies.
Our story begins on the first day of school. No peanuts, said Epi. She knew.
Avoiding food allergies or avoiding the dangers of having them. These are motivators for researchers and parents as they manage the pitfalls of food allergies and look for silver linings as well.
And that silver lining is that my kids love to be in the kitchen. They fully understand the food that we eat, but we do our best to make sure that the kids feel included and they can create some of these delicious foods on their own when they leave the house.
Thank you for watching. Continue to follow Virginia News and Stories by subscribing to our VPM YouTube channel.